Hello, once again. Let's continue with our journey. Um, so, so far we've been looking at data manipulation, right? And I just wanted us to um, take a quick detour back to looking at some of the data definition we've been doing so far. Okay, so far we've looked at how to create a database, how to create a table, look at how we can put some columns in. And of course, we can then try to refresh our memory by creating a new table, all right, in our bookstore database, all right. So I'm just going to right click here, all right, create table, all right. Now this uh, table we'll be creating, all right, would allow us to be able to explore uh, how we can establish relationships in the physical sense in MySQL Workbench. Okay, so we have the table named customers, right? We're going to create some um, columns for it. All right, so we can say we're going to give this as primary key. All right, not null, and then we can leave this as also auto increment. Okay, then we are going to have name. All right, and set this as a variable length string as 100. All right, and then that also is not null. Okay, um, one sec. Why is this? Okay, for some reason it's taking up all the space. um, then we have email. Okay, email, and we're going to put it also as 100. All right, then we're going to have that as not null as well, and then we can go down, say phone. Okay, and then set that as 20. Okay, and we have our join date, and then we can set that as default. Let's say date. Okay, so date. All right. Right. So this is what we have set up, and we're just going to hit apply. Okay, and now we can see the associated SQL command for it. And then once that's done, we hit finish. Okay, so we can just close this now. All right. Now, assuming we've finished this and we just want to add another constraint, right? So we can say we want to make the email column unique such that no two people can have the same email. All right, we can just go back to our table here, right click it. Sorry, we go back to the, in fact, our table is not showing. So what do we do? Oh, there it is. We can right click and then we can go to alter table, right? So when we do alter table, it should open back up again, right? And we can just scroll to email, all right? We can scroll to email and use select UQ to mean that it's unique, all right? Unique, okay? Now, once that's done, we hit apply again, and you can see that that's the associated SQL command. We can just hit apply and finish, okay? Now that's also done, okay? Now, once we've done that, that's how we can alter or add constraints, all right, to our tables, all right. Now we can also establish relationships, all right. We've also far we've been looking at these structural constraints: one to one, one to many, many to many, all right. And of course, in the both the physical and logical sense, that is understood to be established using the idea of the foreign key, all right. So we're going to create another table, all right, called the orders, right, and then sort of establish a relationship between the customers table and the orders table, all right. So we're just going to create table again. All right, I'm going to call it orders. Okay, and I'm going to give it some columns. All right, so if I do order ID, okay, sorry. So order ID, I can just put, yeah, and then make that also auto increment. And then we have the customer ID associated with a given order, right? And then we're going to make that also an integer, right? Also not null, okay? Then we can add the order date, or the date, and then the data type, we set it as date, all right? Not null, all right? And if we like, we can, in fact, perhaps it even, let's just put this as date time, all right? And we can set the default as, I think, current, okay? We can current date time, okay? So that whenever there's a, when we don't enter a value, all right, the default would be the current date, okay? Now we can then have another column called total amount, which we will have the data type of decimal, right? And we're going to say it's going to be 10 significant figures with 2 decimal places, right? And then that should be it, right? Now, once we're at this point, all right, we've kind of finished what we wanted to do in terms of columns, but then we can then switch to this tab of the foreign keys. Right, now, once we're here, we can just put in the foreign key name, all right, put in FK orders, okay, as the foreign key name, all right. Then we can select our reference table, all right, to be the customers table, all right. Now the columns, right, that we need is the, of course, the customer ID, right, and it's going to be referenced to the customer ID column here. All right, so we've selected what our foreign key, all right, is going to be. All right, and once that's done, we hit apply. Okay, all right, so if we hit apply, all right, that's, and then that should have created that for us. All right, you can always click refresh here to be sure. Okay, so just refreshed it. All right, so just to make sure things do not get confusing, all right, I'm just going to create another tab here. All right, and then I'm going to do use again the bookstore. Okay, and then run that. All right. All right, so now we're just going to take a look at what happens, okay, when we insert some data in there, okay, just to see the relationships that exist between the customers and orders table. Okay, so let's start with the customers table where we can add in some new customers. All right, so we can of course do it graphically. All right, since we just have we're not entering a lot of data. All right, so we can start off by double clicking here, and then we enter the name, say John Smith, okay, and then email John, all right, at example.com, and in the phone we put 555-1234, and then here the join date we have 2023. Okay, these are all random things I'm putting in. And then we can look at customer 2. We can put Mary Johnson. All right. Then we can look at the email. We put Mary at example.com. All right. Then we can look at 555 again, 555, 5678. And then we put 2023 to 20. Okay. So these are some customers that I've just added in. All right. So if I hit apply, all right, we're going to hit apply, and then yeah, we've just added in those values. Okay. Now let's do the same for the orders table, where we select the rows, right? All right. So we're going to add in some orders now. Okay. So if we do customer ID, of course, we're just going to put in the customer ID this time around. All right. So the customer 1. All right. Then we put the order date, which is 2023, say 0405. All right. And then this is the total amount spent. Okay. So 2029. All right. Then we're going to put in another customer. All right. Which is the again, the same customer, all right, made another purchase, right, on the 2023, again, right, and say spending 54.98, right. Then we have this time another order, but from another customer too, right, all right, on the 20, on 2023, 03, 2020, 22, and then 34.99, for example. Okay. All right. So let's apply the changes. Okay. So we just entered in some data, and that should do it. Okay. We've just entered in some data, and the order ID has been populated. Okay. Now, assuming we try to add in, okay, let's say we try to add in another value, say 5, okay, a customer 5 who did a purchase, all right. So of course I'm going to leave this as blank, all right, because remember when we were setting up this table, we said that if we don't enter a value, it should give us the automatic, it should use our current date today, all right. The total amount, say he spent 23.65, okay, and then we hit apply, okay. Now you can see that we will have an error here, all right, obviously, because in the customer table, all right, there is no customer with the customer ID 5, okay, right. So let's just remove that, okay. So I can say, for example, if I just made it that it's still customer 2, and you just hit apply, right, that should, oops, unfortunately it did not go through. Okay, so it says order date doesn't have a value, right? So I guess did I not do it for this particular one? Okay, so let me just put a value in here. Okay, let's say 23. All right, and I just hit apply. Right, and now it's gone through. Okay, so we've got our first our next entry. I think I should just review. If I go to alter table here, just to review what we did here. All right, so we've got total amount. Right, so you can see here that I did not set it default for the order date. Okay, so if we did current, okay, date time, right, and I just hit apply, just give me a moment. I think there's an error here. Right, so it was my mistake. All right, so the